Yeah, thanks for the warm welcome. Yeah, I'm the second main part of the Austrian Phoenix research group. And I'm studying this phenomenon here in England as long as Francine it does. 17 years now. It's my 70th consecutive summer here in Wiltshire. And 10 years ago, I met Jay Goldner. And we thought two crazy guys should come together, because in a small country in Austria, and we are really active. And I'm with my first group. Next week I join Jay, and we are going to the next lecture where we are invited, because most of the pictures I will show are from Steve Alexander, the well-known photographer. A bit is I know from Lucy Pringle. I know her since long time too, but Steve Alexander is the main photographer for us because we know it the longest time. And yes, it's a complex topic. But it deals with the complex topic of crop circles too. And this is really interesting. And I studied mathematics. And I was fascinated in numbers, in geometry, proportions, and so on. And then, after studying this abstract mathematics, in crop circles, I realized the deeper meaning in quality of numbers, in quality of geometry, and so on. And so, switch on. It was 1991. When this famous Mandelbrot set appeared in the fields. And I studied it 5 years before, at the end of my study in Vienna, and it was so fascinated. And then as I saw this in a German magazine, I was so astonished that I had to decide to come to England. But 1991, it was not ready for me, but you know it, this is from the crop circle connector. Really, this was one of the most unusual designs. Why? It's from the mathematician Mandelbrot. And he was really a pioneer. And this is a new art of mathematics, chaos mathematics. It's the border between chaos and order. And this where life takes place. And you can see, only to imagine how important this pattern is. I will declare a bit. You see here the whole Mandelbrot set. This is really a set here, yeah? And I magnify it. You see it here. I magnify it again. And I magnifying again. So now 10 times magnification. And still you see the pattern again, the original pattern. But not the same, nearly the same. And this is this really important principle of self-similarity. And this is in nature. And I will show more examples afterwards. And the second important principle you can see here too. If you see here is this small Mandelbrot, and here the bigger one, and so on. And everything is connected with everything. Nothing is separated. This is an illusion here of mankind today. And these crop circles are a part of this consciousness rising, that we are one mankind, or should be one mankind again. And we are now really on this threshold, 2012, 2013, to start a new age. Yeah, we got cosmic help, but we are responsible on this planet. And these are two sides which we have to deal with. Here, once again, it's mathematically easily described. Yeah, and you see the interesting parts of it, how it is constructed. It's really such complex pattern. But for mathematicians as us, it is easily to compute it, write programs and so on. And today, on the modern smartphones, you have apps, applications you can download, and you can do it interactively within of seconds and minutes. 20 years ago, it was hours and days. Yeah? And only to see, it's only important to know that's a special geometric fragmented shape, and therefore this name fractal, that you know where this name comes from. And the rest is, you can see it on Wikipedia and so on. It's only to show on the web. Now you can go get detailed information. So I don't want it to be too detailed. Important is to know, yeah, that is a mathematical construct, and on the other side, it's an artwork. Yeah, because you, as a programmer or art worker here on the computer, you decide the coloring and where you take the borders. Yeah, the iteration are fixed, but the colors and so on and the borders, you decide when you want to change colors. Yeah, and even there are different types of fractals. The important one is there is a fine structure at arbitrary small scales. Yeah? And even if it is considered to be infinitely complex, it's a relatively simple and recursive definition. Yeah? And you see it in nature. All this from the biggest to the smallest. It's a wonderful design. I don't know it in English, this name, from this vegetable. It's really impressive and wonderful. Yeah? And you can see it from the flowers, all this construction. And here from the ferns, it's well known. And here I was in a garden a few days ago in Devon and on Cornwall. Oh, that is wonderful. How many ferns you can see here because of this heavy raining. Yeah, but water is needed. Water is the element. We are water beings. More than 2/3 of our body consists of water. And water is carrying information. Yeah? And you can do it in computer in a simple way. And if you do it often, this iteration, yeah, it's nearly as a fan. Yeah, so it's really impressive. Yeah, and what for crop cycles appeared? Yes, it's nearly unbelievable how many crop cycles appeared who deal directly or indirectly with fractals. So here, this is one obvious fractal. You can see here I was on this year nearby. This is the second one, and here is, for instance, the graphic, the design behind it. It's really fantastic. Yeah? And so this was so joyful for us. We studied this, and now we were in the fields to study it and to be aware that there's more behind it than normally known. Yeah, and here my colleague is mainly the art worker, the graphic, the illustrator, and so on. And we are working together. I'm more responsible for the website and for holding lectures. This is only my second lecture here in English in England. Last year I was invited in Glastonbury, where everything starts for me. 17 years ago, I came to Glastonbury, and in a short amount of time, I realized, oh, I was there before, but not in this lifetime. And this was really interesting to feel this. And so year after year, I became familiar to this landscape. Yeah? And so I will show it here. And you see here from the pattern, it is important to do it in a three-dimensional way. And this is our work, the artwork, the creative work, to do it three-dimensionally. Because they are projections, yeah, from higher dimensions and so on. And this is so great to deal with it. And because Jay and I met us together, we had to decide we have to do something. We have to do it, make it more popular. And so I experienced this one, for instance. I think one question, who is here, somebody here who is researching more than 10 or 15 years? Is here anybody here? Oh, not so many. Oh, you lose, I know. But the other ones are relatively new. So we know we are the old stones. The old stones of crop cycle research. I don't know the real word in English. Yeah? Urgestein ist es in Deutsch. Yeah? And there came some special eyes, and even there you see these different structures from the big to the small scale, yeah? And similar properties. And here, even last year, I was invited for the first time to speak in the Glastonbury Symposium. I intended this more than 12 times before, and then last summer, the first time, I could hold a lecture. And what appeared 1 week before? A fractal triangle. And I held a lecture partly similar to this one here with fractals. Also, it was really impressive, this coincidence. This means this has sense. Yeah, and this was my first ever experience crop circle. And this famous, well-known, Julia said, connected to the Mandelbrot, said, opposite Stonehenge. Also, this impressed me so much, yeah, that I came year after year. And additionally, on my birthday, this pattern appeared, even bigger. And when you take it into the bird's eye view, it's about 200 meters, and it's exactly an equilateral triangle. So this was really impressive. So I could not take this present with me, but so I came again next summer. And you see here, I'm using a green laser pointer. This is also to deal a different shape. Normally it's well known the red ones, but the green ones, this is because it's not only the green in nature, but the green is really in the middle of the spectrum, of the optic spectrum. You see it here on the left and the right, how bright is the name exit. Yeah? And I know this, I tell you, is as an add-on that it is our perception. Yeah? In what for frequency are we looking? Yeah? And crop circles are so different meanings, different levels. And one of them is the geometry, and the other parts are, as Lucy told, the other perceptions. Yeah? And the geometry is the behind the structure, and this I will tell you a bit in detail. 1 year again, as I could not believe. I came to Silbury Hill, Avebury, and what appeared? Another crop, another fractal crop circle. Yeah? As it could, you can say it is a snowflake, whatever. Yeah, but the structure behind, it's it's a bit not so well shaped here on the screen. It should be a bit widened, but we have to deal with it. And then this triangle, this is a fractal structure too. Yeah? And then a few weeks later, this even more complex formation appeared. So this was really astonishing for me. And it told us, these intelligences tell us, okay, beware, nature is fractal-like. And so other important informations started, even in 1997. So about 33 petals. This is well known, 3 times 11. We had last year the 11th, 11 of 11. Okay, we are well known. But it's 20 plus 13. And this is the second meaning, which is really important. This is now these 2 most important numbers from this ancient Mayan calendar, the Tzolk'in. It's well known in Austria. I think it's more well known than here in Britain. I don't know. Is the Tzolk'in Mayan calendar well known here? Yes? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. There are different interpretations. But important is that now at the end of July, a new cosmic year starts. Yeah? And we know that's now the most important month from this summer to the next summer. And in between is this winter solstice. Yeah? And we had a crop circle dealing with the 11th December of 2012. So I think most of it is well known. But interestingly, it is that the next year in our normal calendar system is 2013. Every day, the quality of 20 and 13 you write down. It's really impressive. Yeah? It could be a coincidence, but I don't know. I don't think so. It's so deep going that these 2 calendar systems are now fitting together or coming together as we should come together. Yeah? And then there appeared more and more pentagrams. So fantastic pentagrams in different shapes, pentagon, pentagram, and so on. Yeah, and this was the most complex one a few years ago. And here, one friend of mine in Austria made a puzzle of it. Really good. Yeah, to make a puzzle, so for children, you can fill it out. It's really great. And there, another one here with the special graphic, you can do it, yes, as artwork and so on, as a researcher. Yeah, and what is the meaning behind it? The golden section, the well-known golden proportion, golden section. This is here the formal definition, mathematical one. A plus B is to A as A is to B. And this is is hidden here in the pentagram. And we know it. We have our 2 feet, we have our two arms, and we have our body. Yeah? This is well known. And the architects in ancient times, Greek and so on, they knew it. They built harmonic buildings. Yeah? And it's well known the Fibonacci series. 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 2 plus 5 is 8, 5 plus 8 is 13, and so on. And if you take the two consecutive numbers, divide it, 8 through 5 is 1.6 is similar. So it goes nearer and nearer to this border, 1.618, and so on. And the exact number has to do with the square root of 5. Always the 5. We are built of 5, we as human beings. And this is important. And you know it, you can write it down. Here is a rectangle, and so on, well known. And you can do it, you can measure it on the physical body. You see, for instance, this proportion to this proportion is golden ratio, and so on. The proportions from the eyes, the nose, even the tooth, and so on, dozens of dozens. Go to the web, to Google or whatever search engine, give their golden section and body, and you get dozens of videos. Really fantastic today. Yeah, it's now a knowledge which is well known. Yeah, but the architects had forgotten it. With the modern computers, they can do everything. But the golden proportion, I know it from Vienna. There are so new buildings which are so, what is the name? It's so unharmonic. Yeah, and here in England, 100 years, 200 years, 300 years buildings. Yeah, this is another way. Yeah, this is more harmonious. Yeah, and this we have to relearn. Yeah, that the proportion is important because we are built upon this harmonic mean, and it is easily built with numbers. Yeah, you see here this triangle, and you count here the sum in this direction. You always get these numbers. And for me, as a mathematician, this is really the most impressive number from the mathematics. It is the only number with here plus and divide. It only consists of the number 1. Yeah, so it's really impressive. And it's independent of the system, whether it's a 10 system or a binary system as computers. So it is written down. So this was interesting for me as I studied it. And now, with crop circles, I know the deeper meaning. And even, there is an interesting relationship, phi and well-known pi, because always crop circles, many circles, and you know the number pi. And it's really interesting that 6 times 1 plus phi divided through 5 is about pi. It's really interesting, yeah? So that there are relations. So, and now we had to decide, oh, there's so great research from us. We have to spread it to the public. So we were lucky to find another researcher, well-known, Erich von Däniken. And and because of his help, we could make the biggest crop circle exhibition in Switzerland, 2005. It was 1,000 square meters. And 1 year later, on the last days of the exhibition, something happened. A hoaxing competition should take place. We said, are you crazy, to the organizers there? But they say, oh, we want more public, and we install web cameras. But fortunately, in the night, after installing the web cameras, before the competition started, a crop circle appeared. So we were really saved. Our cosmic friends helped us. And yes, and there were the newspapers full of the headlines. The mystery park cannot solve the mysteries, and so on. Yeah, and we know there is more behind it, because the geometry, many said, yeah, oh, this is not exact, it's not equilateral triangle. But there is a deeper knowledge behind it, a hidden geometry. Yeah, we research it really deep, mainly my colleague Jay. And because of this not exact triangle, it is possible that this is a plane of a pyramid with the angle of the Great Pyramid. So this is a deeper knowledge behind it. Yeah? And then here you see the biggest exhibition ever on the world was our exhibition end of 2006 in Upper Austria with 300 objects. But after 3 months we had to stop, because the supermarket underneath had to be widened or repaired or renewed. Yeah? It was a hall for artwork which was now empty. So it is, after 3 months we had to stop, but nevertheless it started our group journeys, because we came to knowledge to so many interested persons. They said, we want to come to England. And now, therefore, this summer I'm with 3 groups from Austria, a bit Germany and Switzerland on the way until the end or middle of August. And what is even in Austria, I am still waiting of a crop circle museum in England, but it's still only in Austria. In the small country, the first crop circle museum of the world is so really impressive. Here is my colleague Jay, and here is the couple there. This is near Vienna. It's a small village, Kematen, yeah? And it's so really good that there are persons here who are really dedicated to this topic, and that since 4 years it is known in the area that there is a museum, and this is our dedication to this topic. You see a few pictures of it, yeah. And this was my last small exhibition on the border to Austria in Czechian land, a festival, a harmony festival. Yeah, what could be better than co-creating with crop circle pictures? Yeah, and so this is our work to do, and so we hope that more and more persons will do it. And so therefore it's our special website, and we said it since more than 5 years. Crop circles are interdimensional communications with mankind. Yeah? And it's important to conserve this cultural world heritage. And it is of the future because it's not well known until now, only on the websites and here on the public. Yeah? But I think until next year this will change. And it was about more than 10 years ago that we got this important message. And I know Lucy flew over it and didn't see it the first time that it was a phase. Was it so? Yeah, because we didn't know it. If you fly it from this direction or this direction, you don't know. This is a phase. Yeah, and it's interesting. This is the same size here, 2,200 square meters. And it's really interesting. You see, this was the phase, the telescope, the message. I hope you know it. And my colleague Jay wrote this famous, well-known book in German. E.T. hat geantwortet, but it's another title in English. But there are only rest pieces there. And it's interesting. This was the original message in the 70s from a big radio telescope. Yeah? And here there was this answer. And if you see this here, this was 2001, and 1 year before there appeared this crop circle. And this is a fantastic fractal crop circle. And even 1 year before, on the same place, there appeared this one, the next fractal crop circle. And this is now used technically. Most of you use mobile phones now, and now the modern mobile phones use fractal antennas because they fit in the small devices better. Yeah? And so you see what's going on. The companies don't tell that it's from cosmic beings, yeah, but they use it. Yeah? Further on, we see it in nature, from the leaves, the fractal structure. We see it even from, if you go to Google Maps, Google Earth, and you look at the landscape here in the cities, fractal structures, yeah? Even if it is artificial, fractal structures, yeah? In different scales, similar shapes. This is only a magnification here in the middle. Yeah? And even other artwork. Yeah? Or here this, and so on. There's only a few examples. Yeah? And here now, this special shape. It is known in all German-speaking countries, mainly in Austria, as Venus flower. Who does it know here? A few hands are rising. On the 6th of June, did somebody make a Venus flower here on the ground? Oh, no. Oh. So we have to spread it more on the public. Yeah? In Austria, Germany, and Switzerland, more than 100 Venus flowers were laid on the Venus Transit Day. This really special cosmic constellation where the Venus was in front of the sun and you could see it in the morning from the Earth. It was really impressive. And it's from another mathematician, Werner Neuner, who's well known in the German-speaking countries. He was inspired, and this is really a famous female construction. This is 5 petals. It has to do with the Venus, yeah? and it incorporates this golden proportion. So you see it here. If you take 1 point on the Venus and 1 point on Earth, yeah, and you let rotate it for years and hundreds of years, this special cosmic mandala appears. So this has a cosmic meaning. And it means to open our heart and so on, and therefore, if there are ceremonies with this Venus flower, something happens. And Werner Neuner did it 1 year, laying down with stones, with whatever, Venus flowers, and 1 year after, a crop circle appeared which incorporated the Venus flower and some special details here. Also, he was really astonished. Yeah? And this we could visit with our group, and it's important to walk it through. If you walk it 5 times, you connect the left and the right brain and so on. It's really great. Yeah, let's go on. In the last few years, so many fractals again appeared. Perhaps you know this was on a special place in the landscape. And this fractal, sparing the circle, nested squares, and so on. Yeah, and you know there are here all these well-known books here, as it's only the planic solids. As it's old, it's ancient knowledge. The golden section, there are all these great books here. It's only a few of them, the rest is outside. Yeah. And even this knowledge here, it lasted for years to find it for us. You know, this is still the biggest crop circle pattern ever appeared, with 7 total football fields fit inside. And you know, there was the football championship, how long it takes for one football field to run. And this we overlooked. Only 1 year ago, we saw a picture which was big enough to capture this 410th point, because these are 409. It's 13, and it was in the night before the 13th of August. Yeah? After this, before this special patterns from the face message appeared. And this is not a coincidence. This has a meaning. And it's really simple if you know it. If you connect it, this is a triangle. Yeah, and what is a triangle? A projection of a pyramid. And this is exactly the angle of the Great Pyramid, this nearly 52 degrees. So it went on and on. The same year, this special pattern appeared, and you see of the movement, the rotation, and so on. This pattern, and now I heard from somebody in Italy, because of this pattern, somebody created a new device, alternative technology. This is also a new topic, which should be researched further. I'm in contact with some engineers, architects, and so on, but it's not so easy. They have to be open-minded to do it. You know? This is well known too, about 2005 or 2006. Yeah, and this well-known pattern, nearly so harmonic. And you see it from the big scale to the middle scale to the small scale. And even here, and even you go here, for instance, to Scotland, Ireland, the coastlines. Yeah? If you zoom into it, yeah, the coastlines will retain their fractal nature. And therefore you can't say how long is the circumference of England or Great Britain. You cannot say it. It is longer and longer. If you zoom into it, it goes longer and longer and longer. Yeah? So it's not easy to say it, because what measure it? Measure it with 1 meter, with 1 centimeter, with 1/100th of millimeter, so it gets longer and longer. So we have to take into account it, and therefore some researchers came into knowledge, okay, it's not so easy to measure the circumference of a land, especially for an island. Yeah? And even if you go now to the flowers, it's really interesting. The Fibonacci series, so many flowers follow this principle. So there is a cosmic design. The number 3 is lilies, for instance. Number 5, primroses, for instance. Number 8, I don't know all the names here in English, whatever, but perhaps you know it. Number 21, chicory. Number 34, peretrum, and so on. It's really interesting. All these are numbers from the Fibonacci series, also dealing with the golden proportion. It's really impressive. Yeah, and something I took from this book. This is only one of the many books here out there with sacred geometry. And now I switch to the second part, because there are so other parts of researching. And here these are the graphics from my colleague Jay. For instance, last year, this seems to be a simple circle, or few simple concentric circle. But if you take the line from the trend line and now make here, test whether there fit some special proportions there, you see, oh, a heptagon, a hexagon, even here the Great Pyramid fits exactly. So this is not a coincidence. This is really a deeper meaning from our I say, cosmic friends who tell us that everything is designed, well designed, yeah? And we are a part of it. And so it goes on. And for instance, this pattern. My colleague, I think, Jay told me he could not sleep for a few nights. He had to research. And after many hours of sleepless nights, he found it out. Squaring the circle, golden section, nested squares, hexagrams, great pyramids. This all in one design. Nearly unbelievable. And it looks not so complicated for the first moment. But this is this cosmic, what can I say, this heart-opened way and intuitive way and holistic way from these beings. And because they cannot use so many lines. Yeah, this would be difficult for us to find. But if you show only some of these points here, it's our creativity to find it out. And this is important, that we use our creativity, yeah, to find it out. And this is here a name in German. I don't know the word in English, so I let it. And it was shown from Lucy before. This has really interesting details. It's really nicely laid down. And here is a dot, and here is a dot. Why? They don't do it without meaning. So you have to research. We do it. Yeah, the Great Pyramid. Told again, is told again, and so on. So this is only a few examples to show what for great details are given us in a way which is really a cosmic artwork, I say. For instance, this is well known. We were with a big group last year, and it was the beginning of the new cosmic year, and this is fantastic. 100 meters and circles over circles. And there were special circles too. So there were here a special point and here a special point. It's really interesting. This was not always the same structure. So this you have to deal with it too. But what is interesting, the other simpler circle, which appeared a few weeks ago, fits totally inside this circle. So with these concentric rings. It's really interesting. So there are the connections between the circles, between the patterns too. Here, I think it's well known. Many say, okay, this is an earthly joke, forget it. Nah, it's not so easy. It's more a cosmic joke. And whoever has dealt with this, it could be that some earthly beings are part of it too. Why not? We are creative workers too. But the cosmic meanings is really impressive. If you take it further on, it's a fantastic geometric proportions, exactly done. And even here, Jay was so astonished that here this exact circles. So this is cannot be so done so easily. Yeah? And there were special energies felt here. So even if some still believe it's man-made, yeah, even then there is some other meanings, knowledge, and so on behind it, inspirations, etc. Yeah? And even here, is this only a pipe? Is this only a pipe for smoking? Yeah, we is well known from Einstein and Jung, and it's for peace, and from the indigenous people, we know it. And the number 7 from the hemp, and the hemp products, we know. But there's another meaning. What is if this could be an instrument too? We know it from Switzerland, this Alphorn, but we research, this is only a bit of joke, but we research deeper. And you see, really they exist, these ancient instruments with the name shofar. And the shape is really impressive. It's nearly the same shape as in the crop circle here. Yeah? So for us, mainly this goes in this direction. And if you pipe, it would go this direction. Yeah? So it's really the second meaning. Yeah? This meaning behind the meaning, yeah? That it's ancient instrument, that it's dealing with frequency, with tones. You see here our gong. Yeah? Yeah? This frequency is sounding. Yeah? And crop circles are optic sound patterns. So what did Jay? If this design tells us something and is a mirror, I have to mirror it too. And unbelievable, if you mirror it, it's the exact proportion of the Great Pyramid. So this is really interesting if these things happen more and more. So there is a deeper knowledge behind it. And now there comes the Venus flower inside. And so now I think this is new to nearly everybody of you who doesn't live in Austria. There was a ceremony done. Werner Neuner and friends made a Venus flower. More than 20 kilo of, what is the name? Flower. And here you see here all the roses, well done. And they waited. And really, there came a cosmic answer. Exactly 1 week later, exact opposite of it, I still was there. It was not allowed, the farmer didn't want it, so I only could catch it here from the street, but I could see it. I was privately staying a bit longer, and it was really great to see it there. The most complex geometric pattern from last summer. And it was really an answer of the Venus flower laying. Why? Besides, it is a 5-dimensional geometry, okay? This, I don't go into detail. You can see it on the web, on other researchers who do it. This is really higher dimensional light geometry. But this is like quasi-crystal structures. But if you see these points, these dots here, if you are laying down a Venus flower, yeah, you take ropes with 2 points in between. And this in-between points you need for these curves. Yeah? And it's interesting that all these points here are incorporated in this crop circle design, which you need to create the Venus flower. So this cannot be a coincidence. So now we see we are a co-creative part. It's a part of a communication. Yeah? And we realized it in 2010. We were with a big J, and I were with a group of about 35 persons from the German-speaking countries. We were in Glastonbury, we were in Cornwall, dealt with the so-called Holy Grail. And the night after, it appeared in the fields. And we were the first one to fly over it with the helicopter. We didn't know it before, but we were connected. And this is this part here in this landscape that we are coming to in an easier way, communication with other dimensions and so on. Because they are a part of us. They are not separated. Perhaps in 3-dimensional way, they are perhaps thousands of light years away, but in an interdimensional way, they are a part of us. We are all beings, soul beings, and this is important. And we are co-creating. And now, therefore, this picture shall us tell that we shall come together. And this is so great for me, more than 15 years coming together in the fields. Yeah? And so, therefore, we see that this development has now a highlight this year. This was the first pattern which appeared in the springtime in England. It's in oilseed rape. It's growing fast, so it's not so well seen. And Jay made his well-known graphics, and it's a 12-petal flower. And so this is a deeper meaning. The 12, and the center is the 13. And this is up to us. And we know we have to change from the 12, our normal 12 months, to the 13 moon months, more the female-like. And so this is our way now to deal with it. And this was really impressive. This was the first formation. For me, it's now the crop circles deal with, let's flowering. Yeah, let's flowering us. For us, not only the flowers should show each other. We, as human beings, yeah, should be aware that we are cosmic beings. Yeah? And even you see here the geometry behind the vesica piscis and so on. It's really impressive. And even here, here in our face, here the pineal gland and the eyes, and so there are even these proportions here in our face and brain. Yeah? And even this picture was really impressive, as it was relatively simple, but nevertheless there was deeper geometric structure behind it. So further on, this is well known from one of the from from middle of May, one of the last in oilseed rape. Even these simple circles are not so simple. Here is the geometry. You can study it for yourself, yeah, but it's obviously, there are structures. You see the hexagon, and you have to see it in 3 dimensions. And always, it has started with circles. We know it. We know it with this circle and 4 dots outside. This is well known from the 80s and so on, so they remember us. The simple structure is important too, but there is a complex meaning behind it. Yeah? And even this special dots, oh, this was a hard work, because they are not, they are here in a different way. But what is the meaning behind it? So, another sleepless night, mainly for Jay. The structure behind, really impressive. You see further again, the triangles, some of them projections of the Great Pyramid, rotating. You see here the circle and the square. It's really impressive. This is so well situated. Yeah, you see it here, 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 and here for the connections of these points here. So this is here. You see it here, here, and here. This fits so totally. It's really impressive. Yeah? And so this is for me this cosmic language. Yeah, and because of this geometry, there is an energy which we are resonating or can resonate. Yeah? And now we hope we can go there tomorrow. This nearby crop circle, you see, important always the first stable geometry is a triangle. Yeah? And then it fits inside the inner part of the flower of life. Yeah? And really interesting, the 1st of July was the first day with the first really 3 geometric proportions, also designs which appeared in one night. And it was shown before in morning time, the special tetrahedron, also really impressive. Yeah, and here is the picture, so you can see it if you rotate it in 3-dimensional way, as a really great stuff. Yeah, now what has it to do? It has to do now with the changes on Earth, and not only on Earth. This is one of the impressive pictures from the last days from the sun activities, from the sunspots. And this is a special photo from the national, you know, the agency, the NASA, where there were a website, the space weather website, where you can see it. And really impressive. Yesterday, one of the most impressive polar lights, northern lights in the South Pole. And this we have to deal with it in the next months. The sun activity is going stronger and stronger, but in a way that it's starting to be stronger and then weaker, stronger, weaker. But it's speeding up. Yeah? And fortunately, we are more southwards. But we cannot know what will be happening in a few months or so. But we know this has to do with this change in consciousness, change for the whole Earth. The whole Earth, yes, this saying of 5th dimension. Yes, we are now on the way to a new dimension, however we call it, light age and so on. This is now because 2,000 years are gone. 26,000 years are now going away. We are now really on the threshold. These years, yeah, from 2000, 2013, 2025 or so, these are this really most important years where most of these changes will happen. But it's up to us in what for way. Is it more softer or is it more dramatic? It's up to us. You know, if you go on the web and give the number 2012, what you see first, apocalyptic. Yeah, it's up to us. Yeah, but if you say conscious rising and so on, yeah, you will find it too. Not so much, but you will find it. It's up to us. The cosmos is now. So we get now the wind from the back from the cosmos, and it's up to us to use it. Yeah? And we know this old society, this will come to an end, and also old system with this banknotes. In German, it's really good. The word, as in English, it's banknote, but in German it is Geldschein, and Schein is the German word for illusion. So we know in German that is an illusion. This is a paper, yeah, it's an illusion, yeah. But nevertheless, we give it a value, and it's up to us how many numbers we give. Yeah, but now in this world here, it went so crazy that without computers we cannot deal with these numbers. So we have to find a new system which is easier and which is really fair to all human beings, not to a small group. And this is up to us. And so therefore this crop circle and these phenomena, and I think these phenomena are regulated in a cosmic way that we can deal with it. Mother Earth, it's not the way of Mother Earth that many persons have to go off this planet. So this is not the way. So most of mankind should go this transitional way. And therefore this fantastic crop circles. And it was in 2007. You know the butterfly. Yeah, where are our wings? Yeah, so this is important. These are these messages in such variations, over 7,000 designs, yeah, in more than 20 years. Yeah, and therefore all this are cycles. There are cycles, and we are in a spiral cycle. So only an old system ends, and an old age ends, and a new age starts. And these are cosmic cycles. And the Mayan knew it. This 26,000 years. Yeah. And 260 days is the smallest fractal of it. And 260 days, the women know it. If they give birth to a child, it's 13 times 20 days, 260 days normally. Yeah? So it is from the cosmos. Yeah? And so it's really impressive that it's deeply connected. And even the numbers, we have 10 fingers and 10 teeth, 20. And even the number 13 is connected in is realized in our body. I don't know the word in English. Gelenk, here, this. Yeah, this. We have 13 main of this. 13 joints. 13 joints and 20 here. So it's really impressive. This is ancient knowledge and it is encoded in our body, but we forgot it in the West. Now, therefore, we got many yin-yang symbols to realize left and right brain has to be connected and so on. And so, therefore, what are crop circles? Cosmic wake-up calls. It's that simple, cosmic wake-up calls. And so, therefore, we renewed our website, and now some 100 persons are connected to it. And for the English person, there is here an English part. Yeah, it's not so big enough, but you have the Crop Circle Connect and dozens of other websites. But important it is the websites here for us, for the German-speaking persons. Yeah, and we all tell what there are new crop circle infos, new crop circles, and so on, whatever. And this is here, it's here read down that it's a part of, we will soon more and more direct connect it to our star sisters and star brothers. And therefore, this will be really important. The Disclosure Day, the World Disclosure Day. We have to stop all this hidden knowledge. It has to come out. More than 60 years now is this underground working done? No. So we have to release, the militaries have to release, the governments have to release, and we have to enforce it. It's up to us. If the majority of persons say, now we invite you being to come to us, they will come. But we are responsible here on Earth, so we have to invite them, because otherwise it would be manipulating. And these higher evolved beings, they only want helping us. Yeah, since thousands of years. Many of these beings help us, from Sirius, from Arcturus, from other star systems, dimensions, and so on. And it helps us really that we come together to find our real soul, to open our heart and come together. And we get so much knowledge, and I showed it here in 50 minutes, whatever is here done. It's really impressive, and so therefore, if we do it together, we co-create a new Earth. Thanks, all the best, and take part. behind it. And it's really fantastic. Yeah? And so this was so joyful for us. We studied this, and now we were in the fields to study it and to be aware that there's more behind it than normally known. Yeah, and here my colleague is mainly the art worker, the graphic, the illustrator, and so on. And we are working together. I'm more responsible for the website and for holding lectures. This is only my second lecture here in English in England. Last year I was invited in Glastonbury, where everything starts for me. 17 years ago, I came to Glastonbury, and in a short amount of time, I realized, oh, I was there before, but not in this lifetime. And this was really interesting to feel this. And so year after year, I became familiar to this landscape. Yeah? And so I will show it here. And you see here from the pattern, it is important to do it in a three-dimensional way. And this is our work, the artwork, the creative work, to do it three-dimensionally. Because they are projections. Yeah, from higher dimensions and so on. And this is so great to deal with it. And because Jay and I met us together, we had to decide we have to do something. We have to do it, make it more popular. And so I experienced this one, for instance. I think one question, who is here, somebody here who is researching more than 10 or 15 years? Is there anybody here? Oh. Not so many. In the fields. And I studied it 5 years before, at the end of my study in Vienna, and it was so fascinated. And then as I saw this in a German magazine, I was so astonished that I had to decide to come to England. But 1991, it was not ready for me, but you know it, this is from the crop circle connector. Really, this was one of the most unusual designs. Why? It's from the mathematician Mandelbrot. And he was really a pioneer. And this is a new art of mathematics, chaos mathematics. It's the border between chaos and order. And this where life takes place. And you can see, only to imagine how important this pattern is. I will declare a bit. You see here the whole Mandelbrot set. This is really a set here, yeah? And I magnify it. You see it here. I magnify it again. And I magnifying again. So now 10 times magnification. And still you see the pattern again, the original pattern. But not the same, nearly the same. And this is this really important principle of self-similarity. And this is in nature. And I will show more examples afterwards. And the second important principle you can see here too. If you see here is this small Mandelbrot, and here the bigger one, and the bigger one, and so on. And everything is connected with everything. Yeah, thanks for the warm welcome. Yeah, I'm the second main part of the Austrian Phoenix Research Group. And I'm studying this phenomenon here in England as long as Francine it does. 17 years now. It's my 70th consecutive summer here in Wiltshire. And 10 years ago, I met Jay Goldner. And we thought two crazy guys should come together, because in a small country in Austria, and we are really active. And I'm with my first group. Next week I join Jay, and we are going to the next lecture where we are invited, because most of the pictures I will show are from Steve Alexander, the well-known photographer. A bit is I know from Lucy Pringle. I know her since long time too, but Steve Alexander is the main photographer for us because we know it the longest time. And yes, it's a complex topic. But it deals with the complex topic of crop circles too. And this is really interesting. And I studied mathematics. And I was fascinated in numbers, in geometry, proportions, and so on. And then, after studying this abstract mathematics, in crop circles, I realized the deeper meaning in quality of numbers, in quality of geometry, and so on. And so, switch on. It was 1991 when this famous Mandelbrot set appeared. Nothing is separated. This is an illusion here of mankind today. And these crop circles are a part of this consciousness rising, that we are one mankind, or should be one mankind again. And we are now really on this threshold, 2012, 2013, to start a new age. Yeah, we got cosmic help, but we are responsible on this planet. And these are two sides which we have to deal with. Here, once again, it's mathematically easily described. Yeah, and you see the interesting parts of it, how it is constructed. It's really such complex pattern, but for mathematicians as us, it is easily to compute it, write programs and so on. And today, on the modern smartphones, you have applications you can download, and you can do it interactively within of seconds and minutes. 20 years ago, it was hours and days. Yeah? And only to see, it's only important to know that's a special geometric fragmented shape, and therefore this name fractal, that you know where this name comes from. And the rest is, you can see it on Wikipedia and so on. It's only to show on the web. Now you can go get detailed information. So I don't want it to be too detailed. Important is to know, yeah, that is a mathematical construct, and on the other side, it's an artwork. Yeah, because you, as a programmer or art worker here on the computer, you decide the coloring and where you take the borders. Yeah, the iteration are fixed, but the colors and so on and the borders, you decide when you want to change colors. Yeah, and even there are different types of fractals. The important one is there is a fine structure at arbitrary small scales. Yeah? And even if it is considered to be infinitely complex, it's a relatively simple and recursive definition. Yeah? And you see it in nature, all this from the biggest to the smallest. It's a wonderful design. I don't know it in English, this name, from this vegetable. It's really impressive and wonderful. Yeah? And you can see it from the flowers, all this construction. And here from the ferns, it's well known. And here I was in a garden a few days ago in Devon and on Cornwall. Also, this is wonderful. How many ferns you can see here because of this heavy raining. Yeah, but water is needed. Water is the element. We are water beings. More than 2/3 of our body consists of water. And water is carrying information. Yeah? And you can do it in computer in a simple way. And if you do it often, this iteration, yeah, it's nearly as a fern. Yeah, so it's really impressive. Yeah, and what for crop circles appeared? Yes, it's nearly unbelievable how many crop circles appeared who deal directly or indirectly with fractals. So here, this is one obvious fractal. You can see here I was on this year nearby. This is the second one, and here is, for instance, the graphic, the design.